Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna everyone. So today is the 17th of September. It is Sunday. And it is Hrishikesha Masa or Bhadra Masa, Sukla Paksham, Tadiya Tithi. So there are no Vishnu events, so we shall quickly enter into Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, so Saunaka says he has been asking for to detail about how Parikshit has punished Kali. So yesterday we have seen Nakashin Mrite Tavat Yavatasta Ihastakaha Etad Addam hi Bhagavan Ahutaha Paramarshibihi Ahonduloke Pieta Hari Leelamrutam Vachaha Mandasya Mandapradnyasya Vayo Mandashashchavai Nidraya Krite Naktam Diyata Vyadda Karmabihi. So Saunaka Seti was saying, so in this age of people, everyone are lazy and they are not active. They have got very less lifespan to live. And most of the time they spend in the sleep. In the daytime, they spend all the time for the useless work. Vyadda Karmabihi. So likewise, so the great sages, they have invited Yamadharmaraja to sit and hear Krishna Katha. So kindly speak more about if it is related to Krishna. So that way, Yedi Krishna Katha if that Parikshit punishing Kali, if it is related to Krishna Katha so then please explain more about it. We are one. This is Piyeta Harilila Amrutam Vachaha. We wanted to drink the nectar of Harilila. So likewise, Saunaka says they were enthusiastically asking to explain more if it is related to Krishna. So here when he is asking, it is also just keeping the pratigna, that is Krishna is in the center. So, and please explain all the related story about how it is connected to Krishna. So that is the bring all the topics needed to Krishna. So likewise, Saunaka sage asked. And then further, Suta Goswami is explaining in response to those inquiries. Suta Goswami, once again, he brings the Parikshit. So once upon a time, when Parikshit was in his capital, that is Kurujangala or Hastinapura, so he has heard that the Kali symptoms have entered into his land or wherever he is ruling within his jurisdiction. So after that, after hearing those news, he was not happy. These are unpalatable to the king, that people are infected with some kind of age of Kali, those symptoms of age of Kali. So what he did, he took off his arrows and bow and he prepared to go for adventure. So if there are anything, so he would like to rectify those situations. So likewise, Suta Goswami started speaking. So we are in the first canto, chapter 16, verse number 10. Suta Govacham Yata Parikshit Kurujangale Avasat Kalim Pravishtam Nijakravartite Nishimya Vartam Anatipriyam Tataha Sarasanam Samyuga Soundit Adade Yada Parikshit Kurujangale Avasat. So when Maharaja Parikshit in the capital of Kuru's empire, Kurujangale, that is Hastinapura, Avasat, he was residing there. Yada Parikshit Kurujangale Avasat. Kalim Pravishtam Nijachakravartite. Kalim Pravishtam Nijachakravartite. The symptoms of the age of Kali entered into within his jurisdiction. Kalim Pravishtam Nijachakravartite. Nishamya Vartam Anati Priyam Tataha. So Nishamya, by thus hearing this news, Parikshit was not happy. These news were not very palatable. And then after that, Tataha, after that, Sarasanam Samyuga Soundit Adade, he took off his Sarasanam, this is arrows and bows, and Samyuga Soundit Adade, and to perform his activities, his adventures. And then he departed. Adade, he took up his arrows and bow, and then he started for his adventures, having gotten a chance to perform his adventures. If there are any bad elements, he is going to punish them. So likewise, it is the starting point for Parikshit's adventure. Yada Parikshit Kurujangale Avasat Kalim Pravishtam Nijachakravartite Nishimya Vattam Anati Priyam Tataha Sarasanam Samyuga Soundit Adade. So translation for this verse. Suta Goswami said, while Maharaja Parikshit was residing in the capital of the Kuru Empire, the symptoms of the age of Kali began to infiltrate within the jurisdiction of his state. When he learned about this, he did not think the matter very palatable. This did, however, give him a chance to fight. He took up his bow and arrows and prepared himself for military activities. And purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So purport is shared. Can I request any devotees to read this purport?
Oh, can I travel?
Yes, Madam. Yes, yes.
The state administration of Maharaj Parikshit was perfect that he was sitting in his capital peacefully, but he got the news that the symptoms of the age of Kali had already infiltrated into the jurisdiction of his state, and he did not like the news. What are the symptoms of the age of Kali? They are 1. Illicit concept connection with women, indulgence in meditating, intoxications, and 4. Taking pleasure in gambling. The age of Kali literally means the age of quarrel, and the above mentioned 4 symptoms in human society are the root causes for all kinds of quarrel. Maharaj Parikshit heard that some of the people of the state had already taken of those symptoms, and he wanted to take immediate step against such causes of unrest. This means that at least up to the regime of Maharaj Pariksit, such symptoms of public life were practically unknown, and as soon as they were slightly detached, he wanted to roam them out. The news was not palatable for him, but in a way it was because Maharaj Pariksit got a chance to fight. There was no need to fight with small states, because everyone was peacefully under his subordination. But the Kali Yuga miscreants gave his fighting spirit a chance for exhibitions. A perfect Kshatriya king is always jubilant as soon as he gets a chance to fight, just as a sportsman is eager when there is a chance for a sporting match. It is no argument that is in the age of Kali such symptoms are predestined. If so, then why was there preparations for fighting out such symptoms? Such arguments are offered by lazy and unfortunate men. In the rainy seasons, rain is predestined, and yet people take precautions to protect themselves. Similarly, in the age of Kali, the symptoms as above mentioned are sure to infiltrate into social life, but it is the duty of the state to save the citizens front from the associations of the graduates of the age of Kali. Maharaj Pariksit wanted to punish the miscreants indulging in the symptoms of Kali and thus save the innocent citizens who were pure in habit by culture of religion. It is the duty of the king to give such a protection, and Maharaj Pariksit was perfectly right when he prepared himself to fight. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, ma'am. So here Prabhupada is mentioning how a king's duty is. So there are, these are also mentioned by Krishna. So here, Parikshit, he wanted to protect his kingdom from the symptoms of Kali. So here, these are the symptoms that manifest within the people. There is no person directly to fight against. So here sometimes, so Prabhupada mentions in this purport that if it is Kali, symptoms of Kali, it is already predestined. Then why was there a preparation for fighting out such symptoms? So this is very, very important. Day-to-day basis, even the dharma gradually declining. Then why we need to do anything else? It is the name. But here, Prabhupada is giving the reason. Such arguments are ordered by lazy and unfortunate men. So in the rainy season, rain is predestined, and yet people take precautions to protect themselves. So rain anyway it will come, but we keep ourselves to protect. It is the duty of an individual soul to protect himself from the symptoms of age of Kali. So for that purpose, the state and the king, he has to give some kind of protection. So that is what Prabhupada is mentioning here. It is the duty of the state to save the citizens from the association of the agents of the age of Kali. Maharaja Parikshit wanted to punish the miscreants indulging in the symptoms of Kali. So that is very beautiful and a responsible king. Nowadays, the government itself, it encourages all these things in a regulated and or strategic way. Preparation of the slaughterhouses and gambling houses and then brothels and intoxicated houses. Everything is strategically and organized by the governments, which is not good. So government itself is a production of the symptoms of age of Kali. And a intelligent person who is Krishna consciousness, we need to understand that to be free from all kinds of such associations. So we need to be prepared to fight with these symptoms. That is when, so Parikshit is examining. So when we see our lives, we have to examine whether these symptoms are affecting us. And then as soon as if these symptoms are overtaking our day-to-day life, then once again, we have to stand back and see which is causing that. So immediately, so as soon as one is in pure Krishna consciousness chanting, then there will not be any Krishna disturbances in one's life. So he will tolerate. So likewise, Prabhupada is mentioning in this one. Okay, so that is how Sota Goswami started speaking. Yada parikit kurujangale avasat kalim pravishtam nijakravartite nishimyavartam anati priyam tataha sarasanam samyuga soundir adate. So it is a duty of the king, and he is going Yo Arkendu Agnindra Vayonam Yamadharmana Prachetasam Rupanistani Adaste Tasmai Shuklaide Namaha. A king can be a representative of Yo Arka. Arka is the sun, moon, Indra, Vayu, Agni. So he represents everyone, Varuna, Yamadharma, and also Vishnu. So like to protect his state, so he would take those responsibilities. This was once upon a time. There is Yamunacharya. He was asked by one question. So it was a challenge when he was a child. So the king and the wife, so they were there, and one Brahmana was coming throughout the India, and then he asked one thing: can you prove that the king's wife or queen, she's a prostitute? Yamunacharya was, when he was a child, but still he was expert in all these scriptures. So then he says, he proved that a king is the representative of this Yo Arka Indu Agnindra Yamadharma Prachetasam Rupani Stanyadasya Tasmai Suklayate Nam. So king is the representative of, so in other way, that queen is the husband of all these demigods. So that way, queen is the prostitute. Everyone appreciated Yamunacharya for that instance. So why I'm bringing here, so just remembering those things, when the king is representative of all these demigods, and also Tasmai Suklayate Namaha, even the Vishnu. Harehi Siktirhi Palini. He is injected with the energy of the Lord. Okay, so that is from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we shall move on to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is letter to Hayagriva, September 30, 1969, Tittenhurst Park. Can I request any dear devotees to read this letter? It is a tiny one.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, may I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Thank you. Letter to Hayagriva. My dear Hayagriva, Prabhu, do I need to read the top part? Tittenhurst, like it's like
That's all right,
Tittenhurst Park, Tittenhurst House, Ascot, Berkshire, England. My dear Hayagriva, please accept my blessings. I am in due receipt of your letter dated September 25th, 1969, and I am very much perturbed reading the contending points with Brahmananda. So I am inquiring in this matter. In the meantime, don't be agitated. Sometimes such moments come, and we have to tolerate. This is the instruction of Lord Chaitanya. In the future, I am contemplating that management should be done by you all in combination, but I am sorry that the idea is not very hopeful. Anyway, I shall try to adjust things nicely. Don't worry. In the meantime, go on with your duty and Krishna will bless you. I hope this will meet you in very good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, Prabhu, in this letter, I think there must have been some arguments or something between Prabhupada disciples, Hayagriva and Brahmananda, and Prabhupada was trying to inquire about it. And the most important thing Prabhupada asked, like, these things, ups and downs will come in life, but the main focus should be Krishna consciousness, to following the message of Lord Sri Chaitanya, to keep on in the Sankirtan movement and not be like perturbed by all these material things which happens in life. And Prabhupada also like thinking as he was aging, and as we see like in the disciplic succession after Prabhupada, he had mainly disintegrated the thing. It's like decentralized, I should say, like all the temples, they have their own presidents, and that's how they run currently. There's not Guru Maharajas are there who give initiation, but it has been spread across, it has been decentralized, like in the disciplic succession after Prabhupada. It's been like not one guru who is like running this mission, like one guru giving initiation, because he wanted the mission to spread all over the world. So in that perspective, Prabhupada was thinking that it's really, in this sentence when he says that I want you all in combination to run the management. But if you fight among yourself, that will be difficult. So Prabhupada said, don't worry, I'll try to fix this. And for now, focus on Krishna consciousness. That's my relation, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So that is once again Prabhupada's beautiful way of addressing his disciples. And that could be also another reason when he sent a letter to Brahmananda. Do not share the letters which I sent you, which is only private to you as well. Yeah, just for easy management. And everyone are working only for Krishna. Sometimes little things would sprout, so which needs to be subdued by Krishna consciousness. So thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, that is from Srimad, Srila Prabhupada's letter. And also from the announcements point of view. Once again, we have got our week started, and our regular events. No further updates from me. And before we go into the Srimad Bhagavatam learning, dear devotees, if you have got any further updates or you wanted to share anything from Srimad Bhagavatam or Prabhupada's letter, or you wanted to do any updates, so kindly share. No? Okay, so in that case, we shall move on to next part of our program. This is learning of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the first canto, chapter 2, verse number 10. It is just only for reciting 3 times and then just having what each word means and how it reflects. So these are the insight we need to have. Okay, so कामस्य नेन्द्रिय प्रीतिः लाभो जीवेत यावत जीवस्य तत्त्वजिज्ञासा नार्दो यस्यः कर्मभिः. So life's desires should never be directed toward sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation, since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth. Nothing else should be the goal of one's works. So likewise, Sut Goswami is saying. So this is Sut Goswami is explaining to Saunakadi sages. Okay, so now can I request dear devotees, so take turns one after another and recite 3 times, and then at the end we will come to the meanings and then any insight on it. So would you go with alphabetical order? Can I request Gaurangi Mataji to...
Prabhuji, sorry, I'm not ready, Prabhuji. I'll let you know, Prabhuji. I'll tell you later, Prabhuji. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, sure, Mataji. Okay, so next, can I request Meena Mataji? If available, to recite 3 times. Or Radha Sevaka Mataji.
कामस्य नेन्द्रिया प्रीतिर्लाभो जीवेत यावता जीवस्य तत्त्व जिज्ञासा नर्थो यश्चेह कर्मभिः कामस्य नेन्द्रिया प्रीति लाभो जीवेत यावता जीवस्य तत्त्व जिज्ञासा नार्थो यश्चेह कर्मभिः कामस्य नेन्द्रिया प्रीति लाभो जीवेत यावता जीवस्य तत्त्व जिज्ञासा नार्थो यश्चेह कर्मभिः.
Thank you, Mataji. So beautifully recited. Can I request Sanchita Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. कामस्य नेन्द्रियप्रीतिर्लाभो जीवेत यावता जीवस्य तत्त्वजिज्ञासा नार्थो येश्च कर्मभिः कामस्य नेन्द्रियप्रीतिर्लाभो जीवेत यावता तत् जीवस्य तत्त्वजिज्ञासा नार्थो यश्चेह कर्मभिः कामस्य नेन्द्रियप्रीतिर्लाभो जीवेत यावता जीवस्य तत्त्वजिज्ञासा नार्थो यश्चेह कर्मभिः.
Thank you, Mataji. So beautifully recited again. Usha Mataji.
कामस्य नेन्द्रियप्रीतिर्लाभो जीवेत यावता जीवस्य तत्त्वजिज्ञासा नातो यस्यैह कर्मभिः कामस्य नेन्द्रियप्रीतिर्लाभो जीवेत यावता जीवस्य तत्त्वजिज्ञासा नातो यस्यैह कर्मभिः कामस्य नेन्द्रियप्रीतिर्लाभो जीवेत यावता जीवस्य तत्त्वजिज्ञासा नातो यश्चेह कर्मभिः.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nicely recited. Meena Mataji, would you like to recite or ready? Gaurinya Mataji, are you ready?
Prabhuji,
Not yet.
I'll open the book. Okay, Prabhuji. I will let me check my book. That's why. After that, yeah, I'm not. I use mobile. That's why I didn't see. That's why I'm searching at book, Prabhuji.
Yeah, sure,
I
Mataji.
canto, first canto,
Second
Ah.
chapter.
that second chapter, 10 verse. Yeah, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Okay. Just a second, Prabhuji. So, yeah, nearly there, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. कामस्य नेन्द्रिय प्रीतिर्लाभो जीवेत यावतः जीवस्य तत्त्व जिज्ञासा नार्थो यस्येह कर्मभिः कामस्य नेन्द्रिय प्रीतिर्लोभो जीवेत यावता जीवस्य तत्त्व जिज्ञासा नार्थो यस्येह कर्मभिः कामस्य नेन्द्रिय प्रीतिर्लाभो जीवेत यावता जीवस्य तत्त्व जिज्ञासा नार्थो यस्येह कर्मभिः.
Thank you, Mataji. So beautifully recited. So
Thank
here,
you.
when we are reciting, the few tricks are Kamasya na indriya pritihi. So this pritihi labo, it would split when we see the English translation. It is indriya pritihi. But here there is a pronunciation of or pritihi. And once again, this needs to be pronounced when we see how it has been split as a word to see in the synonyms, pritihi. So here we see as a pritir. Sometimes yes and or, they are sticking to the words instead of the h. So this is the way when it is for the literature things. When we pronounce, so we need to kamasya nendriya pritihi labho jiveta yavata jivasya tattva jignasa naddo esheha karmabhihi. So likewise it comes. Sometimes we also see yes and or. At the time we need to, when during the pronunciation, we have to use he, something like that. Priti he. Kamasya nendri priti he labho jiveta yavata jivasya tattva jignasa naddu eshaha karmabhihi. Okay, so likewise, so beautifully Sutta Goswami is saying here. Now we shall go into the meanings of it.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, may I just quickly add something here? If you just scroll down the Sanskrit thing, yeah. So yeah, please the Sanskrit one as well. The yeah. So Nendriya. So when we see the whole, it's a compound word. So I don't know how many of you can read this. The Sanskrit, of course, Gaurangi Mataji can. But after Nendriya Priti, and then if you see on the la, I mean, if you can know which word is la, and so, yeah. So on that, if you see a small letter which is like a C, small C on the top,
Yeah.
on the top of the matra, that makes the sound R. So so prit that, and when in Sanskrit it's all combined together. So Nendriya Pritir because Priti and then the Ra goes on the top of La. So Pritir Labho. So that's why in English, when it's written, Prabhupada has made the translation like that. So yeah, but when he is doing the synonyms, then he's doing each like pritihi, because he's doing each word separately. But in the shloka, it's because in Sanskrit you can combine like many words together. But when we do in English, the same thing, it's like separate words. So that's why it's pritir labho. So it's Sanskrit, it's like combined together. So kamasya nendriya pritir labho jivati yavata. So that's why it's like when it's written in English, that's why where you're highlighting, the R is there.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, that's perfect.
Mm.
Yeah. So this is compound words. We split it for the recitation purposes. Otherwise, kamasya nendriya pritir labho jiveta yavata. But when we are able to take all the line with a one single breath, then we can do it. Kamasya nendriya pritir labho jiveta yavata jivasya tattva jignasa naddo esheha karma bihi. When a single bit, when we do it, we can take that one in the compound way. Otherwise, when we are splitting, so we just need to take in the way Prabhupada has split. But in the pronunciation of these words, we take this way. Thank you, Mataji, for highlighting those things. Okay, so now I'm just going to request the devotees to give kind of insights of what you think each of words and what you think of those things. Kamasya nendriya pritihi. So can I request Usha Mataji to say Kamasya nendriya pritihi, what you think of it, to explain and what you understand. Sanchita Mataji, would you like to say about the Kamasya na Indriya Pritihi?
Oh, sorry, Prabhu, I was unmuted.
You are on mute?
Okay.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
sorry, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
yeah, the kamasya is like you have the desires, some senses desires. So when you want to fulfill your some desires, and then you have to fulfill like pretty satisfaction if you like your indriyas senses. I have like when you have thirsty, so you feel like to drink some water. So it's like you have desires to you come like your senses can fulfill Prabhu. Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. So Kama Asya na Indriya Pritihi. So for example, when we are going from one place to another place, let us say from England to India, I have got a chariot of 5 horses and I need to go. When we are going, the horses may be needing food and water in the middle. I need to just feed them, giving sufficient food and water. But it is not that I just keep and park them and always feeding only the horses and I sit there. That is not for that purpose. I'm going to travel from one place to another place, not just for feeding the horses. So then all the entire process will be defeated. So this is giving good analogy. I think it was given in some other way, some different places. Kamasya na indri pritihi. So when we are riding the body, body as a chariot and the senses are horses, so it is not that we satisfy the senses. The body is a vehicle. It is to transport the spirit soul from material world to the spiritual world. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so next line, can I request Labo Jiveta Yavata? Sanchita Mataji, would you like to take it on?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Lavo Jivete Yavata. So, of course, in the first line, it says like, we sense gratification is not our purpose, but labha, gain, jiveta, self-preservation, so much. So from the synonym, so we get that we have to do it, but only so much is needed. Like we have got this body, this is Krishna's body, and we have to look after the body. The first, we can only do spiritual practice once we preserve this body. Self-preservation is very much important. We have to preserve this body, we have to do whatever is needed, feed the body, look after, doing exercise, and whatever other things is needed, looking after eyes, like some people like read very close to the gadgets and all. So like those kind of things is which are basic required pranayams. uh, so uh, it's only required so that we preserve the body, and we use that for the higher purpose of life, not in terms of like sense gratification. We eat, but we eat only to fill our stomach so that we feel fulfilled, and then we carry on with both our material and spiritual activities. Not like we get prasadam and we eat like 5 plates of prasadam and then feel like bloated and overeaten and not able to do anything after that. So that's not the purpose. So self-preservation is required. So sense satisfaction, not gratification. Sense satisfaction is only required for the preservation of the body, so that we can use this body for searching for the absolute truth. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I just explained in context of the second line only, but there, of course, there are more to say, but I'm sure the next devotee will explain that.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So beautifully explained. Okay, only for the self-preservation. Okay, so now can I request another devotee? Jivasya Tattva Jignasa. Radha Sevaka Mataji, you want to go?
Okay. Of the living beings, absolute truth, inquiry. Yeah, so just as Sanchita Mataji was saying, that we need to use this. So Jivasya is of the living being, so like us. Tattva, the absolute truth, and Jignasa, inquiry. So it's for the living being to inquire about the absolute truth, and that's what the senses and the body should be used for.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So that is the Tattva Jignasa, to understand scientifically that desire, inquiries, all the Jignasa is the enthusiastic to know. And Jivasya of all the living beings, a dog cannot inquire about itself. A cat cannot do it. A tree cannot do it. A fish cannot do it. A bird cannot do it. But only human can question, who am I? Why am I in this body? Why all things are floating in the air, floating in the water, and then some are on the scrolling on the earth, some are walking likewise. So different kinds of living entities exist.
Prabhu, can I just quickly ask, does do you have to be self-realized to be able to inquire about Krishna?
Yes.
Okay.
So when I understand, I am a little Brahma. Brahma in the sense I'm part and parcel of Krishna. So this is also soul, Atma, and Krishna is also Atma, but Krishna is Paramatma. We are all individual Jivatma. So when I understand that, yes, I am a little and insignificant soul, then Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and he is the powerful soul, Vibhu. We are Anu, he is Vibhu. When we understand that, then what is my relation further? So the further inquiries start, and what I should be doing to go and to spend time with Krishna. If I stuck up here in the material world, that is my conditional position. So one cannot come out of it without having these inquiries, Brahma Jignasa. So first we need to understand ourselves. And mind, so in a way, if we see in our life, if further, I wanted to be happy. That is my motive all the time. It is not that I need to go to the office. That is not the purpose. I wanted to be happy. For that purpose, we think in other way, we think that if I go to office, I may be happy. That is our perception. If I go to school, I may be happy. If I go to some other place, I may be happy. But forgetting actually the happiness is the ultimate thing. But we are thinking, putting that happiness in the temporary things. So that is the problem. So happiness is the nature of the soul. Satchidananda Vigraha. Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha. And the soul's nature is Anandamayobhyasat. It is always to be happy. That is the nature of it. That is the soul's. We need to understand that part. So when we understand it, and number of reasons we put together, whether it is related to the permanent thing or temporary thing, those we need to discriminate what are the activities. And then when we come to devotional service, immediately it may be difficult, but we may feel uncomfortable. Later on, gradually, as soon as we derive the happiness from there, and automatically it is the nature of it. The soul automatically recognizes it. And later on, it would keep itself in the long term in the sticking to the same path, transcendentally and eternally.
Yeah.
So, yes, Mataji, any questions?
No, carry on. You were going to say something.
So that is the nature. So in the Goloka, so the varieties of living entities, all the time it is the pleasure potency. That is Ananda Chinmaya. Okay, so Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabihi Tabhirayeva Goloka. So that is said in the Brahma Samhita. Ananda Chinmaya Rasatmataya Manasu. That is the nature of a soul. Then we understand that here I'm going to office, going in a train and bus, what is struggle, and then coming and then increasing the interest rates and then putting into anxiety. This is always giving some kind of pains. And if I go to some person, he will speak something which I do not like. He will say some condition, and some other person says showing off things, egoistic things, so many things. These are not the things. Those things we have to reject this material world. Those appear. It is not that they are acting, but those are the temporary reasons that we can see that we have to reject this material world. That we have to acknowledge it. It is the arrangement by the superior nature. Especially Krishna devotees can acknowledge it. And so we have to tolerate those things. It is an opportunity to reject material world. to go back to spiritual world. But otherwise, if we see and if we take into the heart that, okay, this person should be speaking nice to me like that, then automatically we wanted to derive happiness where we don't get happiness. Dukkalayam ashashvatam, that is material world. But we are trying to get happiness even from the beloved ones. So we wherever devotee is that, he can only give happiness, and he should not expect any happiness from any others to give to us. So then we will be in the pure consciousness state. So that is the self. Then everything else will be manifested.
Thank
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, next line is Nado Yasheha Karma Bihi. Gauri Mataji, you wanted to say just maybe one word, something like that? Na Ardha Yasheha, something like that.
Okay, Prabhuji. That one is finish. Nothing there. We don't have any desire. That one is no much desire. So we cannot do Indriya Tripti thing. We cannot do that. We have I think here meaning that one, Prabhuji. We not do anything for our desire. So we do, if we do anything for Krishna's, know ourselves, Prabhuji. I think I understood that one, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. So even though you explain in few words, that perfectly suits this context. This is not Deshaha Karma Bihi. It is not just by the occupational. It is only for self-realization. So this purport gives very beautiful thing. Just would like to share this one as well. We are on. So there is one paragraph. So here, when we, as Mataji says, the self-realization, that is Vishnu Shakti Paraprokta Kshetra Jnakya Tadapara. Vishnu Shakti Paraprokta. So Kshetra Jnakya Tadapara. There are three kinds of energies. The one is the marginal energy, the supreme energy, and also material energy, internal and external. So those are the energies of the Lord. So those are explained here. Can I request anyone to volunteer devotees to read this purport so we understand properly?
If nobody is reading, may I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, please.
The completely bewildered material civilization is wrongly directed towards the fulfillment of desires and sense gratification. In such civilization, in all spheres of life, the ultimate end is sense gratification. In politics, social service, altruism, philanthropy, and ultimately in religion and even in salvation, the very same tint of sense gratification is ever increasingly predominant. In the political field, the leaders of men fight with one another to fulfill their personal sense gratification. The voters adore the so-called leaders only when they promise sense gratification. As soon as the voters are dissatisfied in their own sense satisfaction, they dethrone the leaders. The leaders must always disappoint the voters by not satisfying their senses. The same is applicable in all other fields. No one is serious about the problems of life. Even those who are on the path of salvation desire to become one with the absolute truth and the desire to commit spiritual suicide for sense gratification. But the Bhagavatam says that one should not live for sense gratification. One should satisfy the senses only in so much as required for self-preservation and not for sense gratification, because the body is made of senses. which also requires a certain amount of satisfaction. There are regulative directions for satisfaction of such senses, but the senses are not meant for unrestricted enjoyment. For example, marriages or the combination of a man with a woman is necessary for progeny, but it is not meant for sense enjoyment. In the absence of voluntary restraint, there is a propaganda for family planning. But foolish men do not know that family planning is automatically executed as soon as there is search after the absolute truth. Seekers of the absolute truth are never allured by unnecessary engagement in sense gratification, because the serious students seeking the absolute truth are always overwhelmed with the work of the researching the truth. In every sphere of life, therefore, the ultimate end must be seeking after the absolute truth. And that sort of engagement will make one happy, because he will be less engaged in varieties of sense gratification. And what that absolute truth is explained as follows. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So that is the ultimate Prabhupada's purport explains about the sense gratifications thing. So kamasya na indri pritihi labho jiveta yavata jivasya tat prijnasa naddo eshyah karmabhihi. So now I request dear devotees, so if you wanted to add something, your self-realizations from this point of view, or what you think, how this can be achieved. So this is kind of an open session. So put your opinions and how it can be achieved.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I think sometimes like Krishna kind of makes himself known in situations. Like I think everybody experiences a time when they kind of like encouraged to follow a spiritual path, and because they have like a glimpse of something that's not like perceivable, otherwise it becomes very difficult, because if we're following something that we don't have some understanding of, then most people will not do that because it's not something that they can understand. But I think Krishna does it, like I don't know how, but
Yes, Mataji. So in this one, all these religious practices and so many festivals, they are all happening, but it is once again how individual is recognizing those festivals, whether it is with the spirit, either it is a ritual or just a spiritual inclusive of the spirit. Recognizing that one is necessary, and how that intelligence comes is once again, if we see, once upon a time there was a king. He was due to his previous karma, he has been infected, and then later on, his intelligence was dull. And when he was going, so there was come upon a ashrama, and where the great sage, he was taking a bath in the Ganges, and he was going with the wet cloth, dripping the water from his body, and then he went to his ashrama. But this king who was infected with a disease, he just came passing through that way, and he was stepping those dipped water. As soon as he stepped there, somewhere or other, he got a little bit of intelligence to inquire what could be the reason for my problems being in that condition. So immediately he can question himself. And then later on, he went nearby to that sage. So with the mercy of the sage, he will understand the problem. He will follow the instructions of the sage. So here, being close with the good people, satsanga, that is very, very important. And also the religious practices, they give opportunity to stay with the like-minded satsanga. But it must be connecting to the Supreme Lord. Religion means it is a science that is connecting to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the religion. But one who, and some people, they think blindly that it is only for taking some, preparing some prasadam and eat it and be happy. Some many people, they understand that way because of their past karma. They have not come to in close association with Krishna's devotees. That is the problem. It is once again due to their mistakes they have done. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Tanaham Dvishitaha Kruran. So likewise, I will send them to the place where they cannot even remember me. So that is the Kuran who make offenses to Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, and Krishna, and towards other living entities like cows and innocent animals, because of their karma only. Unless once again in due course of time, they experience all such kind of pains, then only they will come in close association with the devotees. So this is Krishna's arrangement, superior arrangement. So this is Shashvata Dharma Gopya. So this is Krishna protects Dharma in the secret way. So Twamaksharam Paramam Veditavyam Twamasya Visvasya Paranidhanam. Tvam Avyaha Shashvata Dharma Gopta Sanatanastvam Purusho Matomi. This is Arjuna's prayer in the Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter. So Tvam Avyayam Shashvata Dharma Gopta. So you protect Dharma very secret way. So we do not have to worry about the Dharma, why some things are happening like that. But what is my duty right now? That we have to question. And in connection with Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So putting those context. Any other devotees you wanted to say?
Yes, I mean, in context to Mataji's question, like, a bit of, as Mataji, Radha Sevika Mataji was trying to say, like, we sometimes get into Krishna consciousness by example, like when somebody introduces us, we see something. We all do, like, in temple, like during the festival, like when we serve, we get to closely watch, like maybe it's Krishna's arrangement that whoever is coming, whoever has got the ticket and is coming, everybody is getting the equal opportunity for darshan, for in the school of bhakti there were many games, like very, it was amazing how Arun Madhusudan Prabhu, Nishkinchana Bhuman and his team, they had arranged like the whole entire Gita in 20 minutes game. Like it was very nice. I didn't record, but it was like the children enjoyed, and of course it was meant for those who are not in regular practice, of course, to get them there. So that like it had like things about like how health, beauty, sense gratification, it and Maya, how it engages us, but what is the purpose of life. But it was done through different games, and uh, visitors who were there, they really enjoyed. And coming out of there, there was like a table where there are various courses, books. Nobody is forcing anybody like to buy the books or register for the courses. And similarly for like Back to Godhead and other whichever tent you go, there is something to take home. But what I'm trying to say in context of Mataji's question is, it's so opportunity is given to everybody. Everybody is getting prashadam, they're standing in the queue, opportunity to do all that is there, which is arranged for the festival. But only those who have a little bit of self-realization will take home something. For others, it's only as a festival. You come, you enjoy, you buy things for children, books and all, and watch whatever is there. Like the different, Krishna land, there was so many like children's drama and kirtan and everything you enjoy, and then you go home, 3 days festival, forget about it, and then move on with your life as usual. So a bit, those who get the seed is only those who have a bit of self-realization, like yes, let me try this, it might be good for me. Amongst everything that we are doing, we are not happy, so to become happy, let me try this path as well. So like, of course, in Gita, the questions are very deep, like who we are and why we are here. This doesn't come to us very naturally unless we are like exalted human beings. But as a mundane person, so what I was trying to say is like everybody is getting that equal opportunity, but how many of us take to an extent to be trying to, as Prabhupada says, hold my dhoti and I'll take you there, like trying to even grab a tiny bit of Krishna consciousness and then follow the regulative principles and make our life a bit more streamlined in this world of Maya. They say, like in one of the lectures I was listening, that Maya is there. Maya, it's like the advertisements. One of the Prabhu was saying, like, we have this thing. Yeah, Sachidananda Maharaj, I think he was giving, like, all these advertisements we have in TV or for Coca-Cola, and different like cars and all that. So that's like the advertisements are there, but nobody's coming to a house and telling that you buy this. Nobody's forcing us. So same is Maya, like all this display of all the things for sense gratification, it's there, but it's Maya is not coming to get us. It's we are going to Maya, like, oh, if I buy a hi-fi car, it'll be really good for me. If I have a small car, it's not happy, I have to buy a Tesla. Such things. Like if I'm here, I'm not happy. If I'm living in a village, maybe it's not the right way of life. I have to be in a city and like doing hi-fi jobs. So it's we who go to Maya. Maya doesn't, like, she's there, she's displaying, she's engaged in Krishna's service. Maya Devi, Krishna has engaged her to do that service. But some people get attracted by that, but others, they can allure Maya and find Yoga Maya to connect to Krishna. So that was a very good thing I thought I'll share with you. So yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So that is Yattat Trigunam Avyaktam Nityam Sad Asad Atmakam Pradhanam Prakritim Prahuhu. So this is Pradhana Prakritim Prahuhu. It is always there. Pradhana Prakriti and Maya is always there. All the conditioned souls they put up into this material world and who are rebellious in the spiritual world. When we see the spiritual world, I was amazed to see that many 1 trillion gopis are there in the I was mentioning this one in the Goloka Vrindavana. 1 trillion gopis, and then only 30 crores of boys, and then there are varieties of living entities, so many varieties of cows, so many cows. But that is the wide. But whereas there is a rebellious nature, and we see some kind of Goloka pastimes. Somehow, even Radharani comes down to earth to perform the pastimes, and Krishna comes down for 125 years. And like Sudama comes here, and then Shankachuda, like in the form of Shankachuda, Tulsi Devi. So those are the pastimes we see what is happening in the Goloka. As soon as we come here, but they already know in their positions because of their always remembering Krishna. But who doesn't remember Krishna, and they'll be wrapped up by the senses and the material body. Then this Prakriti, it works on them. That is what it can be relieved only by Jnana Vairagya. Jnanena Vairagya Vijrumbhitena. Then only we can relieve from there. But yes, Mataji, whatever you have explained about the temple and all these activities, only some people take and inquire why we have come here. But many people, they fall into illusion, Yoga Maya. So,
Okay.
Savai Matihi, yes, Mataji.
Sorry, Prabhu, carry on. No, you carry on, then I'll ask the question.
It is, many people says, Savai Brastamatihi Tavaishate Yah Karmanam Param Apara Karmanaha Yad yogamaya guna yoga mohitam. Vishwam samastam bhagavan videhisham. So that is everyone they're into illusion. They cannot understand Lord's the beautiful pastimes or why devotees how they're engaged in the devotional service. They do not see it because it is not material, it is transcendental. It is internal to the heart of all the living entities. How they are reciprocating is journey within. As people, they cannot see outside. They see in the bodily activities only. They cannot understand many of them. Yes, Mataji.
You know, especially like I think always at the back of my mind, and I've always believed this, that Krishna is not always, he's not just in temples. Obviously that's like a bona fide place, but Krishna is everywhere, and in whichever circumstance we are, whether it's a temple situation or a non-temple situation, how
Yes.
can we make sure we're not falling into Maya with that kind of thinking, but still understand that Krishna is actually everywhere? Like he's not just in the temple.
That one, Hare Krishna. So this one, so when the Maitreya Rishi he explains this knowledge to Vidura about the different how these small particles that explaining about the time. This is Truti, Paramanu, Anu. These are the ones. Those of the Paramanus, when there are the 6 particles come together, they will be floating in the air. And when the sunlight is falling through the window, we see that small particles, they are floating in the air. So those are the multiples of 1 Paramanu into 6 times. That then only we could see that. So likewise, the sun takes time to travel to that particular particle. It is calculated. So that means, and in the Brahma Samhita, so Andhantarastam Paramanu Chayantarastam. So Lord enters into each and every particle and the entire universe. That is where it is Yajna Agnireva Dharuni. Darshu Agnimava. So this is the given examples. The fire is already within the wood. And then whenever there is the force, external force, then only fire comes out. So it is also says, just giving one example, there are so many examples. This is fire already in the wood. When there is a wind blows, then because of the friction of this wood, the fire comes out, and then these things, the forest will be blazed, and then everything will burn to ashes. So likewise, the Lord is present entirely, like the air is within the sky. Likewise, the Lord is present in everywhere. So there is no limit. So it gives, we can understand from the beginning of the creation how these tiny particles, and then further Lord enters into it, and how it gets manifested. We need to see and study that Srimad Bhagavatam further. So reading and studying, then only we understand. Multiple times only we have to study it. But one time also, it will go this side and it will come out other side of the ear. But we have to sit and study, then only we understand it. So likewise, Tasyam Bhautite Kale Bhagavan Madhusudanaha Kadhamam Viri Mapanno Dejni Agniriva Dharuni. So this is one example Maitreya Rishi gives to Vidura how Kapila Muni has born from the heart of Kadma Prajapati and in the womb of Kadmam Virya Mapannu. By taking the shelter of Viri semen of Kadma Prajapati entered into the womb of Devaki, and he took birth. Even though Yajna Agniriva Dharuni, he is already there. But here Kadma Prajapati is just a outside cause. But appearance of Kapila Devi is for a bigger purpose. This is Yesh Atmapato Abhyaktaha Nastaha Kalena Bhuyasa Tam Pravritum Deham Imam Vidhi Mayavritam. So the Sankhya philosophy has been lost. That's why I have born. So, but it is not just because something. But here, Kadama Prajapati was just a cause. He has been meditating on the Lord and for 10,000 years, and then Lord appeared and blessed him, and the Lord became a child of Kadama Prajapati. It is. But the actual thing is to give the knowledge, Sankhya Shastra. He is everywhere, and he appears wherever he wants. And also we see the Prahlad Maharaj and Narasimha Deva. Narasimha Deva has been entire this cosmic manifestation was like a Narasimha, and wherever Prahlad Maharaj shows his finger, he would come out from that place. So and then once again the demon Hiranyakashipu, he wanted to Prahlad Maharaja to show his finger in the pillar. So as soon as he pointed out, the Lord came out from that place. So there is no limits. So the Lord is always there. But we have to experience it. Atmanam sarvabhuteshu bhagavantam avasitam. Apaset sarvabhutani bhagutyapicha atmani. One can see Atmanam sarvabhuteshu bhagavantam avasitam. He is existing in all the living entities' hearts. Apasyat sarvabhutani bhagutyapicha atmani. And all the living entities, we need to see that they are all existing within the Lord. And also Bhagavati apicha atmani, and we see the Lord in our heart as well. So we start our journey from our heart and then seeing all the living entities, and they are existing in the Lord, and Lord also is in our heart. So beautifully explains and how the realization happens, self-realization, that is called self-realization. So the Lord is everywhere. We are in the Lord, Lord is in us. So that is Sadhavo Hridayam Mahim Sadhunam Hridayam Tvaham Madhanyanti Najananti Naham Tebhyo Managapi. I do not know anything apart from my devotees. Devotees don't know anything apart from me. Maite Teshu Chapyaham. I am in them and they are in me. In that way, devotees, so this is Samoham Sarabhuteshu Name Dveshosti Napriyaha. Ye bhajati tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. I am in them, they are in me. That is the only devotee's position and my position. So many beautiful things we can see. The practical, that is called, when we see in the living in this life, so many things are going on. Why this person is speaking, why this bird is flying. And when we are a self-realized person, would experience those things. And by looking at them, just simply smile and keep going on and just chanting Hare Krishna and following related principles, reading Bhagavatam, and then that way he would engage his life and eating prasadam in the temple. But mostly he doesn't want to speak anything else apart from Krishna. Like Prabhupada, he is always roaming and always thinking of Krishna, keeping him in the heart. Siddhi kurvanti siddhani swantastena gadavrita. Keeping the Krishna in the heart, wherever he goes, he makes that place as a pilgrimage. This London is not a pilgrimage, but as soon as Prabhupada came there, and then he made the Bhakti Manar as a pilgrimage. And in the America, so many pilgrimage places. Now, everywhere are different Vaikunthas have been manifested on the earth. That is the devotee's position. So now it is an opportunity for all the conditioned souls to take and make themselves experience those happiness, a glimpse of the spiritual world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. May I add something as well?
Yes, Mataji, please.
So it's also lies in our faith, because in temples, of course we know that Paramatma, he's there in all the jivatmas, no doubt about it. But only the exalted souls who can feel that extreme connection and extreme separation, and then carry on their Brahma Jigyasa in that way. But for like mundane beings, like for us, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came as a devotee, he also showed, like in that mood of a devotee. So he spent in his small life, he spent 18 years of his last 18 years of his life in Jagannath Puri. And he, on his first darshan of Lord Baladev, Jagannath and Subhadra Devi, he fainted. So, of course, he used to get ecstatic during his kirtans, sankirtans and all, but he just chose to spend his 18 years of his life there. So temples do have that positive energy. I mean, the way the following the scriptures, when the mantras are chanted, the positive vibes it creates, the energy is so positive, because we are like in this Kali Yuga, we are not that fortunate to have that beautiful darshan, to have that mood of ecstasy, because it's so crowded these days. Like as Kali Yuga is progressing, even in Vrindavan, Mayapur, or like Jagannath Dham, or wherever you go, Amarnath, wherever you go, these dhams have become overcrowded. So we are unfortunate that we don't get that opportunity to have that divine darshan, of God's darshan in his abode. So as Keshav Maharaj says, here also yeah, last year we've been to India, and for the Dham Yatras, like we sometimes in Jagannath Puri also, it's so crowded. You only get, crowd keeps on moving and they'll keep on pushing. So you get just 1 second darshan. But that does not make us happy after like traveling so long, and then doing all those austerities, and then not getting a proper darshan. But here, when we see, like when we go to the temple in manner, I'm talking in perspective of manner, like after all these years in India, when we don't like feel frustrated that we went to Brindavan also, but we didn't have a good darshan. So, and then it makes our heart like, feel that uh, we don't feel satisfied. But here, even in manner, like when we go during festivals, of course, it's only a few minutes darshan, they keep on moving the crowd. But when on a quiet day, when you sit in front of the Lord and have that darshan, Lord, you see, Ramnath Prabhu, he explains it very nicely in some of his lectures and also in the discussions. Like we see the Lord, and Lord is also dressed up in Shingara Arti, and he's also looking at you. Yeah. Lord, why is the Lord looking at us? Lord can look at Radharani, they can face each other and then keep on doing what, like playing the flute. But he's looking at us. He's inviting us, to be part of his, like with his flute. It's like an invitation for us to be part of his divine pastimes. So to attract us, Krishna is all attractive, and he's attracting us. So, these feeling we get only when we have a proper darshan. And though we know Lord is everywhere, but in the house we do our sadhana, we do our devotional practice, and for first and foremost devotional service is chanting. Nothing, like everyone says, like it is in the scripture, that is the most important duty. But we do get happiness, but we are so conditioned that I mean, I'm talking in perspective of my family. Like when every Sunday we make an effort to go there and get that nice darshan, the positivity we get, it lasts for the whole week. Like again, we long forward to go again and visit the Lord. It's like it feels like homecoming. Somehow I can feel that. So that's how, like as Mataji was saying, of course, God is not only in the temple; He's everywhere. But there's still some, I mean, I cannot explain, I don't have that ability to explain in my capacity, but there is something positive. The energy is very positive. So, but these days it's unfortunate that we only feel it here in India, which is the abode of all the dhams. But even like we went to Mayapur for Mangal Aarti, it's so crowded, like you it's standing on 2 feet, is that even that is a struggle. You sweat even in winter, like the children get pushed and all. It's very difficult. So we don't get that proper darshan to have that feeling these days, I'm saying. But I was trying to mention about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I mean, he being when he came as a devotee, he still fainted in front of Lord Jagannath. So that there must be some power. So of course, I mean, if we all were so fortunate to have that like proper darshan of the Lord in the temple, it would really make us feel very satisfied, fulfilling, and getting that positive energy. Hare Krishna.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, the temples are just on the, yeah. I mean, that's the bone. It's, yeah. I mean, yeah. That's the closest we're gonna get, isn't it? Like when you see Jagannath, it's like you just go crazy. It's just natural. it it yeah.
It's very true. Like, and when we cannot see Jagannath in the temple, and when he comes out, the ecstasy, I mean, the heart like feels like crying. Like, the Rath Yatras, I mean, he's the only Lord, like, who loves to serve his devotees so nicely. He's the most loving, that he comes out of his altar and then gives darshan to everybody, because he knows he's like, Lord of the universe, and he knows that everybody cannot get darshan in Kali Yuga, and we all struggle to even stand in 2 feet in the temple with so much of like crowd. But he comes outside, so somehow or the other, everybody gets his one-to-one time, divine time. Like, even when the Rath is moving, if you don't get time, even when the Rath is parked, then Lord is all yours. Like, we can have that divine darshan and get that positive energy. So yeah, a temple or not, like connection, a physical connection with the Lord, like, has a very positive thing. And Mohan Prabhu, one of the like temple brahmacharis, when he used to come in a sangha long back, he used to say that, when he had questions about his own religion, that if you are loving somebody, when, like, if your parents or siblings or like offsprings, whoever it is, like, we want to see them, we want to touch them, and we want to serve them in our capacity. So when in his religion, like, of course, it's nothing, there's no picture worship or deity worship is allowed. They only pray 5 times a day. And then he started questioning that, if I love my mother is in front of me, and so if I love the Lord, I need to see the Lord to be able to serve him and to do things for my best capacity. Like, other day I saw Janukunda Mataji, like, these things get really goosebump. On Janmashtami day, Mataji, she brought flowers from her garden, like picked up the hand chosen flowers from her garden. She made a bouquet and then offered to Prabhupada, offered to the Lordship. So, we can only serve when we can see somebody. If we cannot see, we can only pray, but that's like a Brahman realization. We cannot connect. So that's how, like, our temples are made for that, like to have a glimpse of Golok Vrindavan, so that we, the dhams, like in the upper planetary system, so that we can serve. That's the mood, to serve. And that's how, like, people from other religion who do not have that thing of doing service and to be able to see Lord, they come to Krishna consciousness and they stay. They never go back. Like Sachinanda Maharaj, like one in Prabhupada's disciple, who is the president of Simhachalam in Germany. He was saying, like, he being a German, and like, for him it was very easy. Like, even after 25 years of practice, one point he felt he should leave Krishna consciousness. But then he loved Prabhupada so much, and he went to the dhams. He said only visiting the dhams, like for 3 months in India, he regained that faith that, no, I should stay in Krishna consciousness. So these dham yatras are important, and we are really so fortunate that in here, even because of Prabhupada, we have so many dhams where we, yeah. So, and here or all over the world, like, people are fortunate, where it's not only ritual. Like, of course, we have crores of temples in India, but it's mostly ritualistic. Like, that divine connection you don't feel in all the temples.
So yes, Mataji, whatever you are saying, that is right. But it is especially dhams means it is the place where all the swans come and take pleasure. So where Krishna is there. So it is because not simply Dham, it is the devotees association, because the devotees come there and leave their potency there, and then they keep going on, they spread there. And when we go, we feel that blessed. Otherwise, Jagannath is there, and then there are no devotees. If we go there, we don't feel anything. It is just deity, that's it. We simply think that we don't feel that ecstasy. It is in the presence of devotees only we feel that ecstasy, because kirtan is going on, devotees are there engaging in the devotional activities. That positive vibrations all comes from um, that positive vibrance. The Lord and the devotees, the both, then only devotion, bhakti. There, when we keep ourselves present there, then everything goes. It is, that's why what is the most auspicious thing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Rai? He says that it is the devotees association. What is the unfortunate thing? It is the forgetfulness of Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Absolutely,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Yeah. Thank you for like summing it up very nicely. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Jahanakanya Mataji, thank you Mataji for being here. So would you like to give it?
I could respond a little on that, because what Mataji is describing is a normality of, because we've multiplied a lot more nowadays than we have in the past. We've got larger crowds. And as you say, these temples are there for a reason, and the crowd is the attraction. We go because there are so many people going, and we going for something they're going for as well, and that is the place for it. But we must not be hooked on that's where we're going to receive the goodness. We can do it elsewhere, and that's the difficulty. As you say, if there is no crowd, you don't receive the same. It's the same thing in your home with the deities. You do not receive that because it's harder to perform, because you're on your own. The crowd is the answer. They are the ones that give us that energy to go and seek out. And of course, the temple is not at fault, the people are not at fault. Everybody wants a piece of the cake. And so that's why it becomes such a difficult process. And they have to move people on. I have done that duty before. It's not easy. And I don't like to say, come on, move on, please, please move on, please move. Because I feel for the people, I want to be there and take darshan and stand and dance and bow down to the Lord and relish the energy. The Lord looking at me, I'm looking back, and oh, it's all so beautiful. But we can't expect any different, because we have to give our fellow men the opportunity the same as we are having, which is a tiny piece of the cake. But that should encourage us, as Mataji said, the whole week is spent relish with that richness. And so when the thing is, because we work all week, we can't go in the week to sit quietly with the Lord and relish that beauty of exchange. But it's up to us to do it in our silent ways. This is the test. Krishna is giving us this test. How do you process it when you're not with me or in front of me? And that is not easy. And that's where we struggle. That's why we have to go back every week for a new dose of it. Like you take your medicine, you have to take it regularly. And it's hard. And only when people say, oh, I give up my occupational duty out in the material world to surrender, then they feel purity and more time to do what they'd like to do. But it's a choice. It's a choice we make. Some people retire early. They give up you hear some of the Prabhu say they joined this movement since they were 16, 17 years old, because that's the attraction they got. And it really that's the choice they make to make it work for them. And we choose to have families and children, and what I mean, families of our own immediate family. So it's not easy, but you can do it. It's there to take. It's on a plate, so you decide whether you take it or not. Sorry, I'm being a bit flippant here, but it's really true.
Yes, Mataji, whatever you are saying, that is true. And also sometimes when there is so much of crowd is coming, why we are put up into lines, that is for a purpose. So
Yes.
as long as the crowd is too much, we stand in the queue, because in front of us so many devotees are walking, and all the devotee Vaishnavas, they're not ordinary. And when we walk in those footsteps, waiting for longer, we receive that many blessings. It is not straight away without the crowd. I straight away go to the deity and then see and then come out. So we do not feel that kind of bless. Even though 1 second going among 100,000 devotees in the front, and then just take only one glimpse of darshan and come out, and then we remember that incident for longer period than just simply just go and then see the Lord and then come back. So that thing, it is because of the devotees, empowerment of the devotees, Vaishnavas, that we see in the other direction. It is for our benefit only. So much of crowd unknowingly, this is avijnata sukriti. We do not recognize that one. So yeah, unknowingly we receive all those benefits for being in the crowd. Thank you, Mataji, for giving those glimpses. And also, yeah, we also feel when they're just duty of a, you know, just in the Tirumala temple, there are so many hundreds of thousands of people, they come, and then they don't give even 1 second, then immediately Jalagan, so they will say, just move, 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 and then they will push away. But it is their duty to give an opportunity to everyone. They don't even take 1 second or 2 seconds. Immediately we have to move away. But once we come out, yes, then we will feel, by looking at so much of crowd, we feel relaxed. Yes, I have seen the Lord. And then this is all hard work. Some people, they start working, walking for so many months before to see the Lord.
Yeah.
So, for example, in Tamil Nadu or around the states, they will go by walk hundreds of kilometers. It is not easy journey, but as soon as they go there in the temple, they take only 1 minute or 1 second of darshan and come out. What to speak of those people? Months of journey, so much of struggle, day and night they walk to see the Lord for 1 second. But here, at least in Krishna's temples, we can spend at least few seconds. We are very fortunate.
You know, Prabhu, you're so right. Like those people are so like we went to Ganga Sagar, and the first time we was from, like, I think we were going from Ramuna to Mayapur, and we actually went to Ganga Sagar, but for some reason we didn't go to the bit where we were supposed to go to the, like, the front bit kind of thing, to get the boat and everything. And that day we just ended up going to Mayapur, and then another day we actually had to come out, and until we saw those devotees that were walking, like, so right, like they give you blessings, even the fact that they're just walking. That was the day we got to see like the proper darshan and the, you know, the bathing or whatever. It's because of those devotees. It's like Krishna wanted us to see those devotees, and before we saw those devotees, we couldn't do what we needed to do. So we had to come back another day, even though we literally went past there. We were like literally a couple of meters away, but he wanted us to not do it that way. He wanted us to do it via seeing pious devotees. That I think everything is arranged by the Lord, and I think when there are I think what you say, like people are walking months and months, like you see in Nepal, you see in South India, all, you know, through these very pious months and everything, the people are literally devoting their whole full self to Lord, and Lord wants us to take inspiration and get blessings from these very, very highly they are very highly elevated souls, because that the whole purpose is just based on their devotion to the Lord. And yeah, we do get so much from them, like we don't even know it's happening, but even just looking at them, like it's so pure that, you know, you change.
Yes,
Like,
yeah. So this is that is called avidyat. We do not know. So everything goes behind it. And also the Bhagavatam scripture, it is not only the devotees association. Even Radha Sevaka Mataji went from England to India, all the pilgrimages, not to see simply the Lord. It is the flavor of devotional service, the process. The process takes us automatically. The months of journey, it would take itself is the blissful thing. It is not only just only few moments of seeing the Lord. It is the flavor, different flavors we have to experience in the process. And also different religions, they would also, if they read it, it is, they do not worship the God directly. So in the Bhagavatam, there are so much of shlokas, they say, without telling the person. So it says, Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Srinvanti Divyaha Savaihi Vedaihi Sangha Padakrama Upanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Tapadaha Dhyanavastya Sadgateena Manasa Tasya Hridayam Yogino Yasyantam na viduhu Sura Asura Ghana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Beautiful. Mataji, you are reciting very beautifully, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
you
Yes,
please do it
Prabhu.
again?
Yeah. Sorry.
Could you please do it again?
You carry on, Prabhu, explaining that prayers.
So here, the Supreme Lord is not addressed by the name. So it is addressed by giving so many people worship Brahma, Varuna, Indra, Rudra, Maruta. They glorify the Lord with beautiful prayers. And all these Vedas, by keeping beautiful ways of the hymns, they glorify the Lord. And the Samaveda. And a person's, the yogis who are always meditating onto that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jhanavastita tadgatena manasa. And they see the Lord in a glimpse in their yogic meditation. That Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be understood by either demigods or demons, and there is no limits for his opulences. Yasyantam naviduhu sura asura ganaihi devaya tasmai namaha. Onto that Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my obeisances. This is Sutta Goswami says in the 12th canto, 13th chapter. The first verse, very beautifully. So that way, you not only this Hindu, everyone can recite this verse. It is applicable to all the living entities. So that's why everyone are attracted, even the Muslims, Christians, everyone. That is the beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Prabhu, the verse says life's desire is all the crowd we have one thing in common, the desire to go and look for something that is purer than what we experience in the material world. And so the crowds gather because of that reason. Now, think of in India, people complain a lot when they have these special celebratory occasion. When there is the crowd so large, they are really crushing, and people actually risk their lives to go to these places. It's like even in the Muslim religion, as you say, in Hajj period, they go to this place, and they even, so many people crushed and died there. It's all just human crowds can create the end of your life. So it's one of them things that the crowd attracts. But it doesn't mean you run with the crowd all the time, because the crowd is the largest crowd is in the material sense gratification world. So yeah, you have to choose, obviously, which is wonderful. And what Mataji said, the good thing about the two Matajis that's discussing now is that they go to these places, but they make good observation. They're seeing what's going on, and this is the thing about being a devotee. The questions are coming because of your observations, your good observations about you're querying things. How does it make sense so I can pursue this kind of process in my life? You are having inquiring, your mind is inquiring about these things. You want to know. That's what a guru does. The guru helps you to use that inquiring mind. You can approach him to inquire. You can use that process to actually progress in your spiritual life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mother. And Guru would show the path. Okay, so that is beautifully explained. Everything in the devotees association and the Guru and the Krishna's mercy, our journey and ultimate goal, it will go peacefully. Usha Mataji, you wanted to add anything? So you.
Hare Krishna, I'm going to have to make a move. I've got to go
Yes,
to
yes,
service
yes.
today. Janukanya Mataji, I hope I see you today. I'm going to try and pop over. And Sanjita Mataji, I hope you're there as well because I've got something.
Hare Krishna, can I just say, I've got so many things to go to today, but I've chosen to go to my Guru Disciple meeting today.
Oh, okay.
And we're going Harinam as well. So I blessed me, giving blessings so I could have the strength, because I went to Ratha Yatra yesterday, a blissful association on Brighton Beach. It was so beautiful. I've got a couple of pictures, but not enough to show you how relishable it was.
Wow.
So hope you can enjoy today, and I'll see you the following week.
Yeah, okay. I'll see you next week. And
Oh,
Sanjita Mataji, I
Yeah,
hope you're there.
no, Mataji, like same, like we'll be there next week, because last, like for 2 months, like we have been there weekdays and every day. So we have got a bit of thing to do today. So we will see you next week. Sorry about
I've
this.
got something for Purvasha, so please, like, I won't bring it today, so I'll bring it next week.
No, yeah. I was going to reply to your message, but yeah, I thought I'll just tell you. Yeah, we just have got so many to, like, our material things get left out, and we have to sort them out again to get back to, like, temple. The classes starts next week, so we'll be there from next week onwards. So this week we are just, maybe we'll go in the evening, but not now in the morning, because I haven't taken any service this morning.
Hare Krishna. And Mataji, if I'm not there some week, Radhisevaki, I'm not because I'm avoiding you.
No.
Sometimes I have to do other things that I get caught up with. So please forgive me, but I will be there on Sundays normally.
It's just, it'll be
And
nice.
let me, Radha Sivikamata, just let me in, like, Janukuna Mataji was missing you so much, like, she asked for your number, and then where is Mataji? You were asking where is Radha Sivikamataji, like quite a few times when we met during the temple, like Janmashtami preparation and all. So it was really nice. Yeah, very sweet. Like the devotee association. This is, I think, the most precious thing we get in temple, as Amok Prabhu mentioned. This is
Yeah,
the
and
best.
sorry, Mataji, I couldn't find your number. That's why I had to ask Sanchita Mataji. Sorry.
No worries. And I should have given it as well. So I will, like I said, I'll catch base with all of you next week, hopefully. And Amol Prabhu, thank you so much. You are like, I don't know, there's no words. You're just very, very devoted. That's all I.
No, I'm not only one. All of us are, because we're coming to this group. That's a devotion. You're seeking out the truth. You're seeking out God, and it's great. Yeah, no, there's no difference between us. We choose different angles, but the Shastras teach us what we should do, but some of us not able to. Don't beat yourself up for it. It's
Yeah, I
okay.
feel like I flit so much. Yeah.
Don't worry, you're looking for something. You got to keep at it, and you need help with a good association.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Haribol.
Haribol.
Also, Radha Sivika Mataji, just an update. Like, we were planning to bring Amoga Prabhu, but when the time is right, he was there, and not as fortunate as other devotees, but they all did manage to have his darshan as well. He was there for Rath Yatra, London Rath Yatra, and then he was there when his Guru Maharaj was here. So in Bhaktivedanta Manor, he was there for a few days, and many devotees had his association, but we somehow did not. So yeah, just an update for you, because we were planning to have him here. So,
Yeah,
but
Amol, we want to see you. I'm so sorry. I was obviously in India, and Mataji's missed you as well. So it would be so great to see you again when you're coming back to London.
Yes, no, even I miss to see all these devotees, Usha Mataji, Sanchita Mataji, and yourself. But I got a chance to see Jaffna Kanya Mataji, and it was very blissful association to be with Mataji. And
yeah, I need to have darshan of exalted devotees. I need to do more austerity. Like Prabhu, you came twice, and twice I missed like you. That's like one time due to Prabhasha's health, and at that time you were not there. So yeah.
Perhaps you can. We can all go and see Prabhu in on a retreat.
Yeah,
We can go. We can go on a retreat, and Prabhu can arrange a place for us to meet somewhere in
Pala
it does.
Prabhu, yeah, he was saying the same thing last year. Like he said, we can go to Yorkshire and then meet Amogar Prabhu. Like, yeah, he was mentioning. He
Yeah.
mentioned quite a few times.
Yeah, it's austerity for us to go and see such a exalted devotee of the Lord.
Yes, we can go and a little place somewhere we can meet and have a day out or two, and make it a really auspicious time.
Yeah, maybe a Saturday. I don't know. I'm just thinking weekend. Saturday, Sunday.
it would be very blissful, Mataji, to hear all these things. But yeah, we have, if you're all coming, then we can make an arrangements as well. So in our home.
What's the nearest big city to you? Is it Manchester?
Leeds and Manchester. So yes, Mataji, Manchester, 1 hour. Leeds is 40 minutes.
Maybe we can go to Manchester, and because there's trains that go directly to Manchester, they probably take an hour from London as well, and then you can come.
There is a train to the Halifax, which is a Grand Central train from King's Cross as well. So that is where I travel from Halifax to London.
Halifax. How long does it take to go from King's Cross to Halifax then?
It is 2 hours 20 minutes, Mataji.
2 hours. That's not too bad. 2 hours 20. So if we left early, like on a Saturday, like 5, 6, we'd be there for 9.
Well, where is there a temple we can meet near you, Prabhu?
Yeah, sure, Mataji. So yeah, once even I'm trying to gather here congregation in Halifax, finding any places to hire for a few hours, so to make bhajans and gather the congregation.
Oh, wonderful.
So that is, I'm just thinking for that one. Maybe you can just do it once in a week or fortnight or in a monthly, just to start with. I'm searching for those options. When you come, by the time if the congregation is here, then it would be more blissful.
Okay, so we'll wait for you to build your congregation, and then we'll come.
Don't wait too long before I expire.
Yeah, I might as well. This is what I want to go back straight away. I'm like on that fast track train without any fuel.
Hare Krishna. We can go to Manchester. How far? You said Manchester is closer to him, or is it Birmingham has one? I don't know.
But he wants, obviously.
He wants us to be near. Go to his place.
He wants us to go to his, but that's which is fair play, because obviously we want to see his place as well.
We don't want to go to his house, but we can go to a community place where he creates something.
Yes, Mati. So we'll see those options. I shall communicate those things, or whether I'll be traveling to London in a sooner time. It is not that I'm not coming, or there are some kind of material ways, material things that I need to, material challenges. They are simple, but it is not simple for me. But yeah, we shall meet all together and have a blissful association.
Yeah, there is one Mataji next to you. Maybe you can couple up with her and create something.
Yeah, sure, Mataji. Yeah, yes.
Hare
It's
Krishna.
Mataji is in the nearby town.
That'd be lovely. Yeah, you get some support then, because it needs strength to build something like that in your area.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah. So just looking for those options, and yeah, we are trying to do the book distributions, giving Bhagavad. Even though I cannot do on my own to book distribute, I am asking people to come and collect the books for freely. So
Wow.
many people are coming. So I'm just trying to get Bhagavad Gita books in different languages. So they only come and collect the books and then go.
So
So
but you know,
big.
it can be done, because Scotland and places like Wales and places like that, it was difficult to start it up, but it is running up and running now. So it can happen. Prabhupada went to Russia and created something bigger than ever.
Yeah, there's so many Russian devotees now, isn't there?
Yeah.
Right, okay, I need to go. I'm going to be late. Okay, once
Yeah.
you come with the Romans, check it.
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय
Ki
Yeah.
श्रील प्रभुपाद
Jai.
की
Ki Jai.
जय
Hari Hari Bol.
हरे कृष्णा
Thank you.
Oxbig Sangha Ki.
Yeah.
अखिलेश गौड़ संघ की जय
Amoga Prabhu Ki Jai.
अमोघ
Yay!
प्रभु
Janam
की
Atma ki
जय
jai.
Jai.
Janam Atma
Jai
ki
Jai
jai.
Jai.
Radha Devi Kamara.